Okay, so I am just hiding in my bathroom, YouTubing as people do. It's totally normal because all of my neighbors have somehow simultaneously decided they were all going to mow their yards like right now. So it's super loud, and thanks for leaving me out of that club. Appreciate you all. But whatever the point is, I wanted to clarify some things about my high school pictures video because I can already sort of anticipate what I think people will say. And so here's what I want to say. Like, okay, first and foremost, when people say you haven't changed since high school, like you still look the same, I completely understand that by and large that is meant to be complimentary, right? That's meant to be like, no, you don't have the prominent forehead wrinkles now. And like, no, I don't see any gray hairs. And those sorts of things, right? So I get that that is meant to be complimentary, and so thank you for that. Second, I think my big aversion to those pictures from high school comes from the fact that, like, subconsciously, I don't want to be associated with high school me anymore. Like, I feel like I am a completely different person. And I think that over time, as you get older, you grow and you change and you figure out some things about life and you do become kind of a different person, right? Like, I think some of the basic elements are still there. Like, I'm still a person with a really good heart. I'm still a person who is funny sometimes. Like, all that's still there, but I think you figure out some different things about yourself. And so, like, me now at 33 years old is radically different than me in high school. Like, me in high school, I think, was just super uncomfortable with herself. Super uncomfortable with herself, very focused on what other people thought, and like that shaped my value, and that is not the case anymore. Like, I know that I shape my value, and I am a lot less concerned what people say, what people think, how people feel, because like I know me a lot better than I did when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So, so there's that. So I think I just don't want to be associated with that person that I used to be, because I feel like I have come so far. And so I think I just sort of anticipate that physically there's just been a big difference as well. So you can see that growth over time. And that's not necessarily the case, and I'm fine with that too. But like, I can tell you that, like, okay, high school me, let me give you an example. So junior year, I had asked this boy named Nick Anderson to the Sadie Hawkins dance, and it was out of my comfort zone to put myself out there like that, but whatever, I decided I was going to try. And he said that he could not attend because he had a previous engagement on that same night. And that's fine, right? That's fine. Like, that, whatever, life happens. And then the night of the dance, so I went alone, I went with a group of friends, it was great, whatever. The night of the dance, he walked in with a different girl. So that was obviously not, you had a previous engagement. That was, you just didn't want to go with me, but you also weren't brave enough to tell me that. Which, if you think about it, like, and especially thinking about it now, like, that is 100% on him. Like, that's on him. That's his own shortcoming. That has nothing to do with me. But me then perceived that as, there must be something wrong with me. Like, I must be intrinsically on all the levels not good enough that this happened, which is super unfortunate because here's the thing. Like, first of all, I didn't even really like him that much. It wasn't like I super liked him, so it broke my heart when that happened. Because really, I don't think I would have cared one way or another. Like, I thought he was very funny. I thought he would have been enjoyable to go to that dance with. But beyond that, it wasn't like I was in love with him or anything. So it shouldn't have hurt a super lot that happened. But it did because it made me feel like I wasn't good enough, which is not the case. And like I said, if it had happened now, at 33, I would have just looked at it as like, I mean, that's your loss, dude, and also grow a pair, but and just tell me that you don't want to go, and that's fine. But yeah, so overall, I just think like coming from that person to the person I am now, it's two radically different people. And one time I saw this quote posted on Instagram, and it was one of those like felt boards that you like stick the messages in, and it said, "Be the person you needed when you were in high school." And I love that. And I always try to remember that on a daily basis. And as a teacher, I really try to be that because I see these kids that are just so insecure and so uncomfortable in their own skin and like haven't come into their own yet, and everything is perceived as being like a knock against them or something reinforcing that they are not good enough. And so I really try to highlight that it does get better. You do grow into yourself, you come into your own. And you realize that these things are not any sort of reflection on you, and that those are other people's issues to unpack and deal with. But so I think that's very common. I think that happens a lot, and I think definitely like me in high school and me now, it's night and day. They're two completely different people in my mind. I think anybody who knew me then and still knows me now would probably agree with that. That there is, yeah. I have for sure grown up. I have for sure had a glow up and become a much more confident person with an understanding of myself. And so I think in that regard, that's why I look at those pictures and I'm like, no, not the same person. Like, I don't want to be associated at all with that. And then I can tell you for sure, like, I'm never going back to like half a forehead of bangs because that was not a look and never will be. So there's that. But I think that's very real, that you grow up over time and change and become more confident. And I definitely like the person I am now way more than I did back then when I was in high school. So I think we go ahead and call that a glow up, because I'm for sure thinking that it is. That's where I'm at. So.